Today, I'm gonna give you 5 tips that you can use to feel more confident on video. Hi everyone, welcome and thank you so much for being here. My name is Celeste, I am a yoga teacher and I have been for about a year and a half, maybe a little bit less, recording myself on video. So the other day I was looking at my old YouTube videos. I haven't got that many really, but I was looking at the first ones and there are so many differences and so many things that I have improved, but particularly I feel like from the first one till today, something that feels much better now is the confidence that I have to talk in front of a camera. And I wanted to give you some tips if perhaps you are starting to record yourself or if you're thinking of starting and you feel a little bit shy, that I think that will help you a lot. So let's begin with the first one. So tip number 1, choose a topic that you love. So this one I think is a cool and a very important one to start with because it will give you already approximately half of the confidence that you need to record yourself. Because if you are trying to record something that you don't really know, that you don't really care, or that you are not really passionate about, then you are going to struggle a little bit more to film, you're going to struggle more to speak, and again, it's going to have a really big impact on how confident you are when it comes to explaining, or really whatever it is that you are going to be recording, whether it's a class, whether it's a tutorial. So I feel like it's the biggest first step to take is to really choose something that you feel passionate and secure about the knowledge around it. Tip number 2, script and practice. Now, I have to admit that this one took me quite a long time to put into practice because I am not a very good at scripting, I am not really good at planning, and I do really like improvising. And at first I was like, no, scripting, this is gonna put a lot of structure into whatever I had to say or teach or film, and I don't like it, blah, blah. Yes, that is up to a certain point true, but trust me, it's really helpful to have a script. So scripts can look very different. So for example, the way I script is I put pinpoints, right? I say, for example, today on the video for today, I have the 5 tips that I am gonna be talking. And in between those, I have little points that I would like to mention. Now, there's other people that I've seen that script really word by word. And I have to say that depending on the video that you're making, if you're filming something for Instagram or if you're doing something for YouTube or whatever the platform you're using, your scripts even might look different. I don't usually speak on Instagram, but the times that I have, I did script word by word because it makes it faster to read. There are apps that you can read the script as you record. But when it comes to YouTube, really, it's a little bit longer. And again, I still think that I don't really like the pressure of the script word by word when I have to teach on YouTube. Now, after you have a script, whatever template you use to script your video, I do recommend some practice. Now, again, I was at first, I don't like this practice thing, I like improvising. And yes, still up to date, I improvise. But again, just having a little bit of practice when you know that you're gonna be filming and if you know that you are not confident at all or that you are not very confident when you have to record yourself, perhaps it's a really good idea because you will feel that the recording will go way smoother when you have practiced at least, again, the pinpoints that you want to talk about or the script, maybe read it a few times, and that's about it. I know that a lot of us, perhaps most of us, don't really have that much time to script everything and practice everything and memorize. And by all means, I'm not saying that you have to memorize at all, but if that's a tool that you think would be useful for you, then go for it and use it. But anyway, having a little bit of time of practice, again, at least saying it 1 or twice or in your mind while you're taking a shower before filming, then it's a really good idea. So second one, script and practice. And let's go to number 3. So tip number 3, body language. Now this is, I think, the one that is my favorite and the one I struggle with the least, I have to say. But I know and I have seen that there's a lot of people that struggle a lot to use the body language. Now, there are plenty of things that we could speak about body language. If you would like a special video on this, I would be very happy to film one for you, but I would like you to let me know in the comments. And I have certain things to say about body language. Now, body language can be a tricky one, but at the same time is a very, very big and super helpful tool. And why do I say that it can be tricky is that we need to learn how to use different body languages depending on the kind of video that we're gonna film. So if I am gonna, for example, I do yoga classes, so if I were to record a meditation, I am not gonna be chatting loud and making a lot of movements and being like, hi everyone, right? Because I am trying to project some sort of peacefulness and being calm, so the body language and the tone of voice that I'm gonna use are gonna be softer, are gonna be more relaxed. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna be still and stiff and not move at all, but rather there's gonna be a different quality to the body language that I'm gonna be using if it's a meditation than if it's a power vinyasa yoga, right? If it's power, I'm gonna try to speak louder. Perhaps my movements with my body are gonna be bigger and more expressive. So to begin with, in body language, we need to learn to distinguish what kind of body language we are gonna be using, depending on the kind of video we are gonna be filming. Again, everyone has on their own a different body language. We are born or we grow and we build a different body language that might change throughout the years, will probably change. But I know that there are some people that are more relaxed and that don't use their limbs so much as I do, for example. But I feel like in order to catch the audience attention, it's important to move the body, right? So, for example, I'm gonna show you 2 videos and we can chat about the difference. Hi, my name is Celeste. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. Today we're gonna be talking about shoulders. Now, before we begin, I would like to explain why we're doing what we're doing. So if you don't fancy listening to me chatting about shoulders, please feel free to skip me all the way up to this minute and go ahead and start with the class. Hi everyone, my name is Celeste. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. Today we're gonna be talking about shoulders. Now, before we begin, I would like to explain why we're doing what we're doing. So if you don't fancy listening to me chatting about shoulders, then please feel free to skip me all the way up to this minute and go ahead and start with the class. Okay, so those 2 videos are exactly the same presentation, but in one, I have not used at all my hands or almost anything. And on the second one, I was a little bit more expressing, using my hands. I don't know about you, but when I watch a video of somebody else, if the other person is not moving at all, it turns out to be really boring in the long term. I usually skip it. I don't find it very attractive. And again, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong, and there's probably an audience for that kind of body language. But what I mean is that if you're trying to catch the other's attention and you want the other person to stay awake with you, it's cool to move your body and use your body language as a source of decoration to your video, right? Again, always considering what kind of video you're gonna be using, but not forgetting that movements and body expression are parts of having a good and successful video. Let's go now to tip number 4. This one at first sounded pretty obvious in my mind, but I think it's worth mentioning, and is know where to look. Now, I remember at first I struggled, and I still do, I have to say, but I struggled a lot understanding that I'm not really talking to a camera, but I am talking to someone that ultimately will watch the video, right? So when you talk to someone in real life, at least most of us, I've seen some people that struggle more to do this, but when you're talking to someone in real life and you want them to know that you're talking to them, you look at them in the eyes. And in order to get this on video, what we have to do is look straight into the camera. Now, if you feel a little bit awkward doing so, perhaps moving your eyes 1 or 2 inches up or 1 or 2 inches below, but really not taking your eyes elsewhere or talking to the left, because when you watch a video that someone that is not looking directly into the camera, it looks like they're talking to somebody else. I really don't know what you're trying to achieve or why you're filming your video, but if you are gonna film something for somebody else to watch, and you want the other person to know that you are talking to them, it's very important to look into the camera. Remember, I know it's a little bit awkward, and at first it might be a little bit cringy, and you might wonder, why am I doing this? I am literally talking to a camera, but remember that ultimately somebody else is gonna be there watching this, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna wanna see you looking at them into the eyes, straight into their soul. Okay, last but most certainly not least, tip number 5. So this one I feel might be one of the most important tips I could ever give you, that is, forget about perfection. Because perfection, my friends, doesn't exist. Now I have to say, I struggled today, and I feel like I will struggle a lot still in the future to remember this. If you are just starting, maybe it's a good one to kind of like tattoo into your arm maybe or something. Really forget about perfection, because when you start pretending that your videos are perfect, whatever this means, right? Perfect, maybe you made a mistake in your, so say for example, I make a lot of mistakes when I speak, pronunciation wise, because I usually film in English and English is not my language. Or maybe when I am teaching a flow, I forget to do one side of the sequence, or I said flexion instead of extension, or things like that. And at first I was deleting everything. So I would make a mistake, and then I would delete an entire video that maybe took me, I don't know, 50 minutes to record, or it's a lot of time, right? I had to set up the place, the lights, and get ready. So really deleting videos because there was like a little mistake or something, absolutely not worthy. And remember, you're making videos for somebody else, most likely a human. So we are all humans and we make mistakes, and that really makes us human. So I think it's also cool to accept the mistakes and let them be part of your video, so the other person knows that the person that they're watching on the video is not a robot that literally memorizes every single word and doesn't even blink or breathe when they're speaking, but rather another human, and that makes you more relatable, right? So if you make a video and you make a mistake, unless it's like a terrible mistake that completely doesn't make at all any sense the entire video, but if you make a little mistake, again, maybe a word, you mispronounce something, or little tiny details, then trust me, continue, maybe make a joke about it if you notice on the spot, or if you didn't notice on the spot and you notice after you edit it and posted it, whatever, just let the others know if it's something that maybe they should. Like for example, last week or the week before, I posted a video, and I usually say that people can skip the video up to this minute, right? And I forgot to change the time of the minute, so it said 0000. So it's like you cannot skip. I forgot to put the time, and I posted it. I didn't notice. My sister sent me a message with a picture. Hey, is this okay? And I was like, oh no, but it's okay, it's a mistake. I then posted like a little joke on Instagram, whatever, continuous, video has views, people enjoy it, and life moves on. And eventually, with time, you're gonna get more fluid, and you will see that you will be smoother. Everything will go smoother when you have to film. And again, some days will be better than others. Some days I'm like, I have to film today, but I don't want to, but I have to because of the time, space, whatever. And maybe those days my videos are not as smooth, or I don't feel as smooth as other days. But it's all good, y'all. It's all good, because again, we humans, we make mistakes, and that makes us relatable. So if there's any of all the tips that I have just given you that I would like you to really hug and keep with you, is this last one: perfection does not exist. And if anything, it's nice to see people making mistakes and making you feel more relatable to others. Okay, that was all for today. I have loads of other tips, really. When I started writing this first video, I noticed, wow, I actually have a lot of tips to share with people. So if you would like to know more tips to feel more confident, then please leave me a comment. If you found any value on this video and you think anyone might benefit from it, please feel free to share the love, subscribe to my channel for more weekly content, and I will see you on the mat very soon. Bye bye.